Oh my God. Oh, oh, and not let me in here. Okay, all right, we in here. By the way, and hey, it's you, I, hey, what you say? Baby, I wonder, baby, I wonder, where it's on, put your sweat out for me. If you will, how it feels. What is up, you guys? Well, come to it. Hey. Oh my goodness, y'all. I thought I was live. I was talking to y'all. I was talking to nobody. I'm still getting the hang of this whole thing. Welcome. Earth is School. Thank you guys for tuning in. We in the house. We in here for real time. Uh-oh. It's breaking up bad. You hear me? You guys can hear me good if I'm coming through quick. Come on. We don't got no time for these difficulties and stuff. There's no time for it. I appreciate you tuning in another episode of Earth School. This is episode 20. So we getting up there. Why am I echoing though, yo? Okay, well, let me come back in. Let me leave and come in because I don't even want to start. Let's see. 1 second. All right, what about now? Oop. Like, who has time for this? Can you guys hear me good? Without any echoing? Welcome to Earth is School. I am your amazing YouTube host, De La Soul. And you are listening to another episode of Earth is School that comes on every single day, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's up, you guys? Where are y'all listening from? Let's give the people a few real seconds because I feel like it hasn't been real seconds that I've really been in here clearly. All right, so today's episode is a pretty good episode, I believe. I believe that every episode of Earth is School is a good episode, okay? Callie in the house, Smiley Coast, what's up? Brittany's live, thank you. Kawana, thank you, sis, for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about being authentic. Authenticity. And before we get into this conversation, we're going to do our breathing because we do that every day, right? For those of you who do not know, We do this breathing to release anything that we've been holding on throughout the day. Humans, we're vessels, we're like vases, we carry things, we hold things. And so we do this deep breathing where we pull our spinal cord fluid up into our brain like it already naturally does twice a day. We're just forcing it two more times. And what it does is it feeds the chemicals in your mind, it helps relax you, and it releases any like stress and all those things, stress hormones that you've been holding on to. And this has been scientifically tested. You know I have to say that. That's important. I'm not just talking. It's real. All right. So on three, we do this deep breath, and I'm going to instruct you. You're going to push your navel to your back and then release. All right. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in. Breathing in. Push your navel to your back. Up, up, up. Hold it up. Hold it. And release. Good job. You can literally feel that release. This is something that we don't do enough as adults, as humans. Strengthening your core, opening your core. All right, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Breathing in. Breathing in. Push your navel to your back. Breathing in, pull it up. Suck it up some more. Hold it. Just a little bit longer. And release. Nice. I know you can really feel that one. The last one is always the real one. You really feel yourself releasing. So, yes, let's talk about, can I say this word? Authenticity. Ooh. And I don't think I transferred my notes. I don't think I transferred my bullets. So, I kind of did, though. All right, let's see. Brittany's life. So, I need to stop smoking. I'm struggling. Yes, if the smoking is affecting you with deep breathing, then yes, because this is something that we don't even breathe. Just like we don't use the bathroom the right way. We don't even do our number 2 the right way. We do not breathe the right way. We be breathing like we're in flight or fight mode. And okay, we're not going to get into that. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes I forget to transfer my bullets, and I don't know why my devices work like this, but it is what it is. You guys are in the beginning of Earth is School, so you get all the edits and all the BTS, right? So let's see. Hey, Ma'am Sinclair. Not pain went right to my chest. Yes, please practice this every day. It's really, really good, especially for women. Like y'all will be so surprised. I need to do a episode about strengthening our core because I have really like reshaped my body with my mind in this particular exercise. But you really can do a lot with your core and regulating yourself, strengthening your uterus, all types of stuff through these breathing techniques. So let's talk about authenticity. And my goal is to make this episode 30 minutes. So we ain't going to count the last 10 minutes, okay? Let's start now. So let's talk about being yourself no matter what. Being yourself no matter what. I think this is an important subject as Earth is School. I think that it is so important. I mean, this is going to sound a little crazy, y'all, but even though I might not agree with people wanting to be dogs and I'm going to the extreme here because I feel like I put my best examples from extreme examples most of the time. So, there's these people that want to be like animals and sheep and even though we might not agree, okay, we can judge them and be like, that's weird or whatever, right? But maybe not exactly to this level, but just to give you guys an example of how serious I am on be who you feel. Like, be who you feel, even if I don't agree, unless it is harming someone else. This is literally what I have written down. Unless it is harming someone else, I really believe that we are meant to be who we feel that we are meant to be. Like, that's your own personal journey. If you want to be a donkey, that's you. Like, if you want to walk around and make donkey noises and act like a donkey or whatever, those shows that we've seen, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We could break down childhood, this and that, but that's you. This is your own journey. Like, who am I to say that that's not what you're supposed to do? Like, you're doing, even if it's not conducive, like, even if it's not productive, even if it's not helping humanity, if it's not harming us. I'm really big on us, like, just being on our own journeys and just really learning that we have to be who we are here. Maybe you don't want to be a horse your whole life. Maybe you just went through a phase, okay? But that's the best example I give of the level that I feel as far as the lessons on us learning to be ourselves, learning to be who we are no matter what, as long as it is not harming or forcing ourselves onto anyone. Why is this so important? This is so important because being you is accepting and loving you. And sometimes, like, I'm not saying that you don't have to tone yourself down. Sometimes I feel like we all know that there's a time and a place, right? But I also believe that there are different versions of us. There are different versions of us. There is the you that you think that you're giving off, that you believe and that you want to, that you tell yourself. This also would go into like zodiac, like what your sun sign is. For those of you who are into astrology, your sun sign is you are who you are believing that you're giving off to the world, like how the world is perceiving you, I guess you could say. And then there's the you that is who you truly are, like who you are when maybe you're just around your partner, or maybe you're just around your siblings or people that you grew up with, or just your friends. Like, there's a different level to that, and it could be the same version, the same person that you are out in front of everyone else, but it's a little different. It's a little toned up or toned down. That would be more of your moon sign, your inner self, for those of you who are into astrology. And you have like your work self, right? You might have, if you are an influencer like myself, you might have a certain self that you are when you are speaking to your audience, certain things like that. I just believe that we all have these different selves, but the baseline of you, I think that throughout this journey, just like I talk about acceptance being a thing, being a constant lesson for us here, learning and practicing and continuing to find yourself and be yourself is like a constant thing here. And so that's what we're talking about today is authenticity and being yourself. Being yourself no matter what, as long as it's not harming someone. And why this is so important. If you're not being yourself, you're not accepting yourself, you're not loving yourself, you're suppressing yourself, you can literally drive yourself crazy by doing this. You can literally drive yourself crazy by not being yourself, with the exception that you are going to give off certain levels of yourself, right, depending on the environment and stuff. But the baseline of you, it has to be yourself. And that's just one of the big lessons that we have here, is learning to do that. And this is no matter who you are. The thing is that people are going to put you in a box, like regardless. If you are coming from a standpoint where you are like teaching or you're helping, maybe you teach the youth, or you counsel or do some type of coaching or something. Maybe you are like a particular thing that you've given to the world, like a dancer, or it just doesn't matter what it is. There's so many different levels. And the thing is that people will put you in a box. It's a natural human thing. When we meet people, we put them in a box. Even if you are some of the most non-judgmental people, it is very easy for you to categorize this person based off of how you met them. Like, what was your avenue? For me, I can use myself as an example so much in this episode because I am a, what do you call it, multi hyphenate. So I do a lot of different things. And some people meet me from the standpoint of me being a dancer, being a very funny, goofy person. Um, what do you call it? On a spiritual level. People meet me on different levels, and it's easy for them to feel like, okay, this is her. This is how I met her. This is who she is. This is what she was given to me. But you might not know my goofy side. You might not know my very serious, very, very much village on a mission side. You might not know how serious I am about certain things, or just, my levels. Like, I don't think that anybody is really one way. I really don't. It doesn't mean that you necessarily are a multi hyphenate where you have all these different talents and passions and careers. But none of us, if you think about it, none of us is just one way. So to me, that just proves more of the challenge of like why we came here, to learn to be ourselves no matter what, as long as it's not harming anyone. And people are always going to put you in a box. A good example that I have of that is like when I first started counseling publicly. I had just joined the church like maybe a year or so before, and I was counseling people. And so a lot of my counseling was done through, biblical scriptures and things like that. And it was like who I was to the world. This was my first, it wasn't even the Facebook page I have now. It was another page that I had for a long time. And when I wanted to get back into modeling, I have been modeling my whole life, and then I had stopped. And so as a Christian and as a Christian counselor, me wanting to, especially after having a child, I think this was after me having Kyoko as well. So I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I want to get back into something that is a part of me. And oh my God, I got so much backlash. This was my first experience of, okay, I need to learn to break through to be myself, because people were like, you can't be a model. Like, what are you doing trying to be sexy and attractive? Like, you're a wife, you are a woman of God, you're a mother, and we haven't seen you like this. My family knew. My father is the one that started me modeling. So people who really knew me knew that that was my goal. Like, that was my biggest dream. Even in high school, I did a lot of modeling. I had my first paid gigs and stuff like that. And so no one who really knew me as an adult knew that. And they were just like, what the hell are you doing? You can't do that. You can't be a woman of God and a model. And I think that times have really changed, for real, because now maybe that's not so much of a thing. Like, I feel like, that it's just a little different. Social media is so different. This is before you could even post pictures of your food. Like, posting pictures of your food was like, okay, something's wrong with you. Like, you're weird. What are you doing? So this is before that time. This is like 2010, 2011, long time ago, before, like, when Facebook first started popping. So I just remember having that, like, going through that experience of being like, damn, like, well, who am I? Like, who do I get to be then? Like, if y'all are going to put me in a box, like, I know, am I tripping? Because I know I want to still model. So I can't be sexy and a mom, or I can't be attractive. I can't be a model and a wife. I can't be a woman of God and get paid to take pictures. It was really, really confusing for me. And I was in the beginning, I was in my early 20s. I was really in the beginning of finding myself. And I was just like, what? So I just have to be this way. And I just started to, over the years, I started to break through. I started to um be like, F it. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm showing y'all these parts of me because y'all don't know me. And I gotta like take up for myself so I can be myself. And it, some of you guys, have platforms and you're active on there or not. But for people that are like me that have a platform, public figure, quote, quotations, whatever you want to call it, it can be a lot of pressure, especially whenever you know that this is something that you are meant to do. So you're in the beginning of doing this. It's not like I have a PR team and I'm confused as hell. So throughout the years, especially me leaving Christianity, I really started to express myself, and I would do a lot of like nude modeling, still being myself, like not being like ratchet with it, being very creative and artsy. But I really had to break that envelope open for people to be like, stop categorizing me. Stop saying that I have to be this way and that way in order for me to fit inside of your box, like your judgment of me, because that's really what it is. Let me look at some comments before I go on. Thank you. Okay. This is why I need a moderator. Okay. Different people just bring out different sides of me. That definitely makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Um, that's true. People definitely bring out different sides. Like sometimes, like you'll be like shy, in front of certain people, and then you have like those people that you're around, and you're just like they know all of you. Like you just get to say whatever you want to say, and it's just what it is, and you can just be yourself. I definitely agree with that. And um, so it's important to find and be you. How do you do this? Like, how do you find yourself? I think this is a big question. I don't think it matters what age you are. There are people in their 30s and 40s and even 50s that are still searching for who they want to be in the world. They may, like, you might even, like, this is how deep we are. Like, this subject is as deep as the cells and the blood in our body, for real, if you really think about it, because there's so many layers of you. Like, no one is just one way, one thing, right? So there's so many layers of you. And so there really is a thing about having to find yourself. And I believe that the way you do that is by stepping out of your comfort zone and doing some of those things that you said that you want to do, even if it feels weird to you, even if it's your first time or whatever. I really believe that we find ourselves through those ideas that you have that are like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I just want to try this. This doesn't even sound like me. This is so outside of my career and what I'm used to doing, but let me just do it. Let me just try it. I think that is one of the best ways that you can find you. Of course, healing. I mean, almost every episode, I feel like that just tells you something. The answer is heal, okay? but but it's more to that. It's more to that. It really does have to do with exploring. You might need to travel a little bit. Experience is the best experiment. So exploring and experiencing is one of the, I think, the biggest way that you can find you. Trying out new things, create. We came here to create. Whether you believe that you're a creative person or not, you are. Like, you came here to create. That's what you do. You create things from ideas, you create people, all types of stuff. That's the main thing that we do here. We have feelings and we create. So that is the way for you to find yourself. Um, so when I first started my YouTube journey, I wanted to give this as an example of finding yourself, because when I first started, if you look at my really old videos, not even the ones here, like I talk a lot about when you move to a foreign country, it's like a clean slate. Like you wipe yourself from who you thought you were, and it's a whole restart. So I feel like I did that again, like in my YouTube journey. But my first YouTube videos, you can see bits of me. You can see bits of who I am and who I come off as today and what I give today. But I also, it was so new to me to be on camera all the time, even though I would go live all the time, but it was just different talking to the camera. And I also had this idea of who I thought I was supposed to be on the camera based off of the people that I was inspired by. So I keep those videos up for people that are inspired to do YouTube and just in general, because even for me going back and looking, I'm like, dang, like I have so much growth because I really was not fully being myself. I didn't really know how to be myself in that way. So there was parts of me that I was suppressing of myself because I thought that this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, in order for me to do these kind of videos, this is what it's supposed to be. And then you can see towards a few of those, the end of those videos, that I'm starting to be more myself. I'm being more comfortable. And then I stopped doing YouTube for a long time, for a few years. And then when I came here, I did the same thing. I have my first videos here, and I'm not really myself all the way. Like I'm actually like listening to what other people are telling me to do. I'm like, this is so new to me. This feels weird. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm awkward. And then I took a break because I know that I knew what my goals with YouTube were. I knew what my dream of having this platform on YouTube was, and it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like it was really me. So I stopped. Even though people were like, oh my God, what happened? Like, I need you to keep going. And I had a lot of people supporting me and pushing for me. And like every 6 months, I would post a video, but it just had to feel like me. And so I went through my own little thing of like healing and learning the different parts of myself, exploring, experiencing. And then when I came back, it was like, oh, like, okay, this is it. Like, this is who I am. This is who I want to give. Like, I'm comfortable now giving off who I really am. And I just think that even though, your dream might not be to be an influencer or have have a platform, that might not be your thing, but I think that you can still connect with this because it might be something else. And there's still levels to it. I think it's important to not let people like pressure you and force you into being something that you're not ready to be, even if that's the goal for you. I think it's so important to go within yourself, have your journey. I'm so grateful that I did this. I see so many YouTubers force themselves and they're not being themselves. I see so many people on social media that are influencers and they're big. They're doing their thing, but they're not doing their thing as them. I know some of them personally, and they're just not doing their thing as them. And that was almost me. So I'm so grateful because it feels so freeing. Like that's another reason why being yourself is so important, because it's the easiest thing you could do. It's actually really fucking hard trying to be half of you if you think about it. It takes a lot of censoring yourself. You got to pay attention to everything you're doing. You got to think and stuff, extra thinking. It's just extra. It's so much easier to just be yourself. So I just can't stress how grateful I am when I turn on the camera and I'm just able to be myself and I don't have to think, and I don't care about what other people think. I don't care about what your judgment is of me, or how, if you want to put me in this category, in that category. It's still annoying as hell. I don't like categories. I don't like boxes. It's a thing for me. But it's okay. Like I'm okay with it because I give you so many parts of me, and it's all me. So I feel comfortable doing that, and that's what matters. That's what matters about pushing and trying and to find yourself and to be yourself. So I talked about there being different yous with your friends. Um, and then I also wanted to mention, because I want to make sure that I'm being clear on, of course, you have to tone yourself up or down sometimes. Another example I like to give is there's some people that I have in my life that are like, I guess you would consider, like, you ever have like you are on your Facebook, and then you might take your coworkers or certain people out of your post because you might be talking in a certain way that you don't want them to see. Okay, so to a certain level, very rarely I might do that. Super rare. But really I don't. And an example I give, if you guys have ever heard me talk about the great elder who is still alive and teaching and doing his thing today, Dr. Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. He's formerly known as Dr. Coleman from the Hidden Colors films. And he's a really good like melanin teacher. He teaches about the Moors and stuff. And Dr. Kaba is a really good friend of mine, and me and him have been friends for some many years. Whenever I was just coming into like who I am and who I'm going to be, and who I want to fearlessly express myself to be, and in that, in me meeting him is when I was in the middle of this, and I was like, you know what, with me meeting this brother and having this is someone who I have a high respect for. This is an elder, so of course you're not going to be like cussing and doing a certain way, but I still make sure to maintain myself with him. And I think that that is so important, that I started our relationship like that, because he can love me for me, as a like a daughter figure, or a niece figure, granddaughter figure. He's able to love me for me, with how I am, with the way I talk, with the way that I joke, and the things that I talk about, and I don't have to hide myself from him. And that's important to me. And I have another friend, you guys have heard me talk about just attracting millionaires, how that's just a thing for me to, they say like, let me, or show me your circle, show me your five closest friends, and then I'll show you where your life is. So I'm all for that kind of thing. A lot of self-help books, talk about that. And so my first friend that I attracted like that, I was kind of afraid, because we also did the same business. And so I would be doing my thing and dancing and talking my shit on in my stories and stuff, and I would hide myself a little bit, and I always felt so uncomfortable from that. Like, I'm like, dang, like I want him to know me, though. Like, I don't want to have to like be different for you, like I want you to accept me for me, and then if you don't, then you just don't. And so I just started pushing past that. This is the journey of being yourself, like fearlessly, and so yeah, like Jeffrey accepts me for me, and he loves me, and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. I can talk about baby daddies, I can talk about weed, I can talk about spiritual stuff, I can talk about essential oils, and go to my science nerd self, and he loves all of it. And I love that, because that's authenticity. It's really important that, and I'm not saying, again, you might have to tone yourself down sometimes. It just kind of depends. But I just think it's really good and important to push past the envelope in being able to be yourself all the time. And I mean, think about it. You want people to be themselves. You don't want somebody giving you who they really aren't. That's really what we want. I think the world would be a better place if we would just be ourselves and let people be themselves. I don't want you to switch up how you feel, the little things you say and do. I want you to be you, so I can know how to handle you. So I can know how to go about our connection, right? It's like the civil rights movement. It's like Martin Luther King saying that he made a mistake. We made them take off the signs of and separating us from the water fountains and stuff, so they can do it in different ways. But we should have just let them do that. We should have just let them be them, right? Let people be who they want to be, so you can treat them and go about it as such. I think that social media plays a major part. Oh my god, this is important for parents too. Oh geez, like this is a whole nother episode. Social media really does a number on us, as far as who we are, and who, like, the journey of self. Social media is either going to push you more towards unapologetically being yourself, or it's going to have you living a fake version of you. Let me say that again. Social media will either push you to being unapologetically you, finding yourself and being you, unapologetically, or it's going to have you being a fake version of you. This is scary. The first time that I ever seen this impact with social media is when I moved back to LA in like 2012, 2013. And this was me being in LA as an adult. So I already had my cookie cutter view of LA from me being a child. My friends, the show Friends, my friends' view of what LA was. And I met this group of friends. I actually connected with. We were living in this white neighborhood. It was Granada Hills, so this super rich neighborhood. And I connected with the only black mom who was whose child attended school there. And so we really linked. I mean, we clicked, and she was so beautiful. Oh my God, this girl is like one of the most gorgeous people on earth. She was Mexican and black, and she is just drop dead gorgeous. I think she was a YouTuber. She was a makeup artist YouTuber. She had all these friends. She was just so loved. Everybody loved her. She had this amazing house. She would throw these parties and bring all her friends. All her friends were so beautiful. I'm like, how are all of y'all so beautiful? This is not real. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody has a nice car. Everybody is just happy. Everybody's so supportive. This is weird to me. Like, I'm not used to this. Like, I'm like, you guys are all perfect. And you guys are like all coming together as a family, like having game night and stuff. These are young people with children that are all beautiful and positive and amazing. And I'm just like, wow, this is incredible. And then I started to get to know the girl. I started to get to know her. And she ended up being like, oh my God, like so dark, so depressive, extremely toxic. She hated herself. And she hated her friends. And her friends hated her. Everybody was ugly. They just looked good. And they were all on social media. And I was just mind blown. I was like, yo, this was the beginning of Instagram. This is when Instagram was first popping. This is whenever we were like over filtering our pictures on Instagram. About a year before posting your shakes and your juices and stuff was a thing. So everything was still new. I was blown away, y'all. I was like, let me find out this is what's happening. It sounds crazy today because now it's like we know, we're more into the social media culture. But in the beginning, I was really shocked. I couldn't believe that they were not who they were appearing to be. And that is so many of us on social media. So many of us are caught up in this loop of being somebody through social media, and it's not really who we are. So I just think it's really important to check yourself. That's why I feel like taking breaks are really important from social media. If you know me, if you've been following me for a long time, I will take a break. I'm taking a break every year, all the time. I'm a weirdo with it, y'all. Like I used to, back in like, ooh, this was a long time ago, like 2011. I used to have, was it Telegram? It was another app that started with a D. I don't think it was Telegram, but it was just like Telegram. And I used to create groups and ask people if they wanted to go like in a challenge of like going off of Facebook for like 10 days at a time, 20 days at a time. And we would be in this group and we would just talk about life and certain things, and just to maintain our reality, because social media will have you in a different reality. Social media is a different reality. It's its own virtual reality. So it's not real, and it really will have you not being real. So when I think back on that, I'm like, damn, this was before I even understood what social media could do. And it was as if my intuition, or like my higher self, knew like we got to get a grips on this, because this thing can really have you not being who you really are. So I think it's really good to look out for that. Yeah, I need to be ending this because today was my goal for me to have a 30-minute show and not an hour and a half. So how you know that you're not being yourself? How do you know that you're not being yourself? Because there's a couple of signs that will show you this. If you are constantly censoring yourself, if you're constantly censoring and questioning yourself, questioning your every move, if you're almost paranoid about yourself, only you know this. I mean, maybe somebody else is close to you too. But I feel like our men know this, because women, we love to talk to our men. Like, we'll tell them, our men know this for sure. Like, if we're feeling insecure about ourselves and stuff. But it's like, you gotta pay attention to, how much are you censoring yourself? How much do you apologize for being you? This is going to tell you if you are really living in you, or if there's still some layers of you that you need to find. Because, not to say that you shouldn't ever apologize for yourself. I think it's really good. You need to be intentional. No one's perfect. So you might overshare, you might misspeak, you know. There's times that I do that. So it's normal. But you got to really check on, how many times are you walking on eggshells with yourself, and always trying to figure out how you are making somebody feel and how you're coming off and stuff. This is like the biggest sign that you're not being yourself, if you're constantly censoring you. Let me look at the comments. Baby mama, wife, black girl category. Yes. Thanks for taking this journey for you and your youth. Yes, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. If you're censoring yourself, if you're always questioning your words and your moves, I know this, because I mean, I can speak from this because I was this. If you guys are have a lot of Libra in your chart, it's a Libra trait. And I just, the way we be reading these zodiac, we be so off with what is really meaning. Because when you read about Libras, it says Libras care too much about what people think. And on the surface, okay, you can read it like that, and it can be like that. But the truth is that Libras are people pleasers, and and Libras want to not come off like somebody that we're not. And so I have a long history of censoring myself and apologizing for who I am, and just not really being certain, and just questioning, like, oh my God, did I say this? Did I do that? Did I do that? And I had to break free from that, because that's not really who I am. That's my lower self. That's my lower 3D, dense, earthly, overthinking self. That's my not accepting myself self. So I just think that's really important for you to check, how much are you censoring and questioning your moves and yourself, because the people, regardless of what you've been through with people judging you and I don't know, misconceiving you or whatever. I don't even know if that's really a word that goes there. But regardless of that, the people who fucks with you are gonna fuck with you. Those are your people. Okay? That's what you want. You want the people that are going to mess with you on the long side, like the long way, the sideways. Okay. So you don't want to be like, you don't want to have to always censor yourself. You don't want to be on eggshells, because then it's not going to be authentic. And then you'll have to always, I don't know how we live these lives of not being ourselves, because when I just think about it, it's exhausting. It is completely exhausting. I'm like, no way. Absolutely not. I can't do this. When I've tried to not be myself, it exhausted me. So it's just like, no, this is the only way I can do this. Okay. Even if I'm talking to somebody about something and I want to like be a certain way, because I want to be careful. It's like, I could be careful, but then I'm like, okay, look, I'm just gonna say it. This is gonna be easier. This is gonna be easier for the both of us. So definitely watching that. Um, and I'm not saying don't be intentional. So I want to be clear on that. But be careful, because you have to accept you and not dwell on the fact that, you made some mistakes in your communications and things like that. And don't lose sleep over it. I feel like women do this more than anything. Don't lose sleep over it. Sis, go to sleep. Don't be thinking about what you said at the girls' night out, at the dinner with the couple. Don't be thinking about what you accidentally shared or what you said. Go to sleep. Let it go. It's an illusion. It's you. Learn from it and then go and then move on. I think that we do that. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I think my mic is still on. Somebody call me. I need to learn how to put my phone on do not disturb. Okay. Let me know if you can still hear me. I think that the mic is still on. It looks like it. But that's what happened last time when it went silent. So you got to be confident and comfortable with you. If you aren't, if you aren't confident and comfortable with you, then get confident and comfortable with you. This is really important. I just know that if you guys can't hear me, you're going to say it. Okay, yeah, I think my mic is on. But I don't see anyone saying anything. Okay, real quick. Somebody messaged. Oh, okay, you can hear me. All right. Thanks. Because I did a whole 45-minute show, y'all, with nobody hearing me. Oh my God, humble beginnings, right? So if you aren't, get confident about yourself. And a good example, of this, I recently did an interview that will be aired soon. And on the interview, during the interview, um, they asked me, the person asked me about how I felt about America, and if I felt like it was worth it to be here. And I'm just laughing at myself. This is what I mean by just accept yourself. This is who you are. So it is what it is. Like, you know, if you can regulate and move with this and change it or not, like, you know it. So yeah, like the person asked me, and I gave a really extreme answer to some people. Let me say that, because to some people my answer wasn't extreme. But to some people, it's like, yikes. Like, did you really go there? Like, you went all the way there, like real fast? That's the first thing that you wanted to say? Yes. And I could tell that the temperature in the room was like, ooh, like, okay, like that was very intense. But this is a subject that I'm passionate about, and this is how I feel. So I'm not going to apologize for it. People are going to be like, oh my God, that was so extra. That was so mean. That was so da 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 da. And then some people are going to be like, hell yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That's what I was thinking too. And that's just going to be what it is, because this is me. So take it or leave it. I think that is one of the best examples that I could give for that. Just accepting, I accept what I said, and I'll say it again. Okay. And so, yes, accepting who you are, who you wish to be, finding who you are and who you wish to be, and remembering that people are going to put you in a category anyway. No matter what level you're on, they're going to do it anyway. They're going to try and do it anyway. The thing is that if you judge me, that doesn't have anything to do with me. So why am I giving you a fake version of myself? If you're going to judge me because you're going to do it anyway, it doesn't even have anything to do with me. It has to do with you. You are reflecting and projecting. This is not like spiritual mumbo jumbo. This is real. This is the real deal. Judge somebody. Try it out. Do some judgment on somebody this week and see if life doesn't hit you with the same or similar thing. See if life don't be like, don't make you have to sweep the dirt from your own porch. It's just how it goes. It's law. It's karma. It's the real law of karma. I know we think karma is bad, but it's just the law of whatever you do is what is done, and it will be done to you. So that's a real thing. And I want to leave us with, look at y'all, I'm doing a good job because it's under an hour. I want to leave us with, when it comes to being yourself, if you want to be, if you really want to be who you are, because who you really are is not who you be thinking that you is. Okay. We talked about anxiety yesterday. or whatever day that was. Um, Anxiety is not who you are. That is what you have. Nervousness, fear, that's not who you are. That's what you have. And you have two halves of yourself. You have a bunch of halves of yourself, but you have a higher and a lower self, or some people call it your inner self and your outer self. You have your 3D self and you have your other dimensional self. And your higher or your inner self is so much more aware of what's going on around you and what's going on inside of you. This is the self that you can tap into anytime when you choose to slow down your brain waves and focus on nothing. Focus on the sound of the air conditioner, or focus on your breath, or focus on a particular thing. This is the self that you tap into. This is not I mean, I would be like not being myself if I tried to sugarcoat what I'm saying right now, because I train women on how to give birth without pain by doing exactly this, by connecting them into their inner selves. We literally go into another place that is within them. So it's not something that I'm just saying. This is real. This is how I've helped people get rid of addictions instantly and develop new habits. Just change certain ways, rewiring your brain, because you really do have a different self that's inside of you. Let me tell you the difference between your higher self and your earthly self. Your earthly self is seeing what's going on um with your partner or your in-laws or whatever, and it's getting caught up in that. Your earthly self is thinking about what took place, what happened, how this person is treating you, what they said about you. You're replaying it in your head over and over again. And your higher self is just like, I love this person. I have so much love for this individual. You don't even know that we love this person. This is you talking to you. This is your higher self talking to you. You don't even know how much we adore and love this person. You don't even know how many times we've connected with this same exact soul that you're all caught up about. That you're really like, this situation looks so big to you. That's your lower self. So if we're talking about truly being your authentic self, it really, if we really get down to it, it is really you being tapped into your higher self. Your higher self is a self of ease, of not controlling things, of accepting things, of love, of speaking through love, thinking through love, hearing through love. This is really what is going on inside of you. Your higher self is experiencing this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is your lower outer self, your conscious self, that's going off of your beta, your conscious brain, the left side of your brain, that's calculating everything, calculating all this data. And that is the self that we battle with all the time. So if you're really being yourself, that's really who you're being, and try to tap into that, even if you don't necessarily do the mental work and quieting the chatter in your brain so you can tap in. But just try to speak to your inner dialogue more. Your inner dialogue is your higher self. I know y'all tired of me mentioning inner dialogue. Or maybe you're not, but your inner dialogue is your higher self. That's the self that says, what am I doing, what am I feeling? Okay, hold on, let me slow down for a minute. And you can't tell me that you don't battle with this, because I truly believe that it's a constant battle. I don't think that these are things that you're meant to overcome here. I just think that earth is school. So you learn it. Like, there's certain things that you don't even graduate from until it's time for you to leave earth. And when it comes to wisdom, when it comes to accepting, just when you think you accepting some shit, you got another level of acceptance to go. Believe it or not. So just when you think that you're being your true self and you're living fearlessly, you have another level of fearlessness to go. Life is going to throw something else for you to climb up that ladder of fearlessness, of knowing thyself. And so be encouraged to just tap into yourself and don't try so hard, because it's just a journey. This is what you're supposed to do. You don't have to. Your higher self isn't trying hard. Your higher self is doing this with ease. When I say trying hard, let me put emphasis on that. I mean, like, don't beat yourself up. When you see yourself, your lower self, you know, or you like feeding into the 3D and getting caught up, when you slip and you overspeak or you overshare or you cause a problem that you didn't think you would cause because you were not intentional enough, or maybe you were too intentional, maybe you were trying to create peace but you created chaos from your control issues or whatever the thing is. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's a journey. Earth is school. It's constant. Okay. So that is the message. I am at 55 minutes. I appreciate you guys. I hope that you guys really appreciated this episode. If you guys did, if you guys like this episode, please thumbs up this video so that YouTube knows that Earth is School is a podcast that needs to be suggested to others. And please share this video. It is free for you to do so. If you appreciate these episodes, you can support me by sharing. You can support me by hitting the thumbs up button and hitting the super thanks. That's what I meant to say. Hitting the super thanks button. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Earth is School, 6 p.m. every day, Eastern Standard Time. I will see you guys here tomorrow. Until next time, thank you for rolling with a sister. And don't forget that Earth is School. Peace out. It's my song, y'all.